All right, guys. If you're just tuning in and you're new to our Soulfire Sunday, my name is Shawn Evans. This is Paulie O'Byrne. Paulie is founder of 1 in 5. I'm the host of the Sex and Suicide podcast. We usually do sort of a mental health segment on Sundays where we talk openly, but we also follow a 15-week cognitive behavioral therapy program. It's by Lucinda Bassett, and we'll attach the link to the bottom of this live feed if anybody is interested in taking that program. We had some trouble with the audio over the last couple of weeks, so I'm hoping that we have the fixed issue now. So hopefully the audio, you guys can hear us crystal clear. Our other mental health amigo, our power of 3, is Scott Milne. He's an IFBB pro, and he's sort of taking the program as well. He's running a little behind. He's got some issues going on. I guess we'll hear about it when he gets here.
All right.
So this week we're talking about we're on session 11 of the program. This is actually week 13, but we're going on session 11, and it's the truth about medication and alcohol. So the reason why we're doing this, first of all, in the summer, we kind of go over this pretty much every week now, but we're getting right into the thick of it. Contrary to what most people think, this is the time of year when suicide rates are at their highest. So we're trying to lower those the best we can.
Yeah.
Our theory is the fact that because high school and college students, university students are out for the summer, there isn't any support system for them really to go to. So we're trying to use social media to get people to kind of tune in and at least feel like they're not alone. A couple guys opening up.
Yeah.
Definitely, you're not alone here, and we're trying to make it known that you should not be afraid to speak out.
I can see that it's a tough time, because it's been like a month and a half-ish, 6 weeks since school's let out, and even longer for colleges, right?
Yeah.
They don't have that resource anymore, right? Like,
right.
They don't have the guidance counselor, and yet they're maybe like new kids going to college now, or like a month away from college for the first time, right? They might be getting anxious about that.
Yeah.
So I understand that right now is a really tough time, and like there's probably more. So I get that depression's really bad at Christmas time, but I totally understand that right now is
lots of change going on.
A lot of change, yeah.
Yeah, and how has your week been? Nice shirt, by the way.
Thanks, buddy. I got this sweet shirt.
Yeah.
From my good friend Shawn Evans.
Hey, I do what I can.
I forgot to bring you a rose this week.
You can do that next time. Do you want to, before we get going, Paulie has had some people reach out, and you go ahead and tell them what's going on here.
So I've just had some people reach out for a crisis line or crisis number because because we are getting into this suicide season. I hate that we got to figure out a different like that there's a season for it. That just tells me that we still have work to do, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And so I've had a few people reach out, and I just wanted to. I have this card, and you can get it at any doctor's office. You can get it from any police officer. You can get it from any EMT. Okay. You can get it from any fireman or firewoman. And it's just the helplines for Ontario. So Connix, it's run actually out of London, Ontario, which is a really cool thing.
Very cool.
All the helplines come into a place, and they have highly trained professionals there that can get you through some crisis times. I've had to call it 1,000 times, I bet. Even in my sobriety, I've had to call it.
Okay.
So I just wanted to give this number out.
Yeah, go ahead. And if you want to, we can take a picture of this and post it at the bottom of the link for people. Yeah. I'll even post it right on the page. Yeah. But if you want to read it out, if anybody right now watching or anyone that does watch this is feeling like they need help or someone to talk to, here are your numbers. Yeah, at least for Ontario, right?
Yeah.
And if you're not in Ontario, all you have to do is Google suicide prevention or any mental health helpline.
Yeah.
And you should find a number that should come up. So please stop watching, and if you're feeling like that's something you need to do it. So, Paulie, here's the number.
Here's the number. So the drug and alcohol helpline, if you're struggling with drugs or alcohol, is 1-800-565-8603. If you're struggling with some mental health issues, it's 1-866-531-2600. And if you're struggling with gambling, there's a problem gambling helpline as well. It's 1-888-230-3505. And I love on the bottom here, it says the first place to start for help is these numbers. And that's definitely true, giving these numbers out to people could save their lives.
Yeah.
And that's kind of,
absolutely.
I'm sick of going to funerals, right? And if I can do this to maybe not go to a funeral, then this is what I'll do, right?
Right. So if you missed those numbers, again, we'll attach those to the bottom of the page. So this week, we'll get started, I guess.
Yeah.
We can go through my notes and know that yours are kind of missing.
But I forgot. I like write them down.
Yeah.
And then I leave my book at home.
That's all right, man.
So I beat myself up because I wrote all this stuff down. I'm like,
I know. But it's okay, man. Life isn't perfect.
It's not perfect.
We know that. So,
it's like school. I'll just copy off you.
There
So
you
I
go.
got into college.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Good to know. Well, you can use my notes.
Thanks.
It's not copying if I let you have them.
Yeah, I understand. That's
permission,
right?
Permission.
That's permission.
Yeah. I guess it's still kind of, I don't know. Anyway, so let's get into medication and alcohol. We're going to focus on medication for self-medicating is drinking alcohol or drugs that aren't medicated. Other medication is typically something for anxiety or depression. We couldn't live without anti-anxiety medication in the medical business. We need a solution to calm people down enough to learn the necessary skills to beat the disorder on their own. So if you've been tuning in and watching some of the topics we've been talking about with mental health, some of the skills that you need to develop obviously take time.
Yeah.
It takes patience and it's repetition.
Right.
But sometimes if you're too anxious or too depressed, that can seem like a lot of work.
You betcha.
So it's okay, and I know we kind of rag on medication a lot here, but if you need it, it's okay. Like,
it's all right to use medication if that's what you need. Like, it's like people that have diabetes.
Yeah.
They need insulin or they'll die, right?
Sure.
And so with some people with like anxiety or depression, like they need it.
Yeah.
You know, and I found a way for me personally to not use medication, right? And
Yeah.
I just didn't find that it was doing the best thing for me when I was on. And I tried a whole bunch of different medications and I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel happy or sad. Like, great that I wasn't depressed, but I wasn't happy. I couldn't find joy in anything.
Right.
And that's a side effect of medication, right? So
right.
It took a long time to like work in holistic kind of practices, right? Like,
right.
Do you take a pill or do you meditate? Right?
Yeah.
Some days I'm going to take that pill because I'm just not into it, right? And these days there's more, meditation, and I don't take medication, which I'm pretty proud of myself that I used to be on a handful of medication that I knew what it was really doing, right?
Right.
So I think the holistic way for me works.
The holistic way does?
Yeah.
So I guess what we're saying is if you can try to work through the skills, obviously taking an anti-anxiety medication or an antidepressant medication isn't the worst thing in the world as long as you realize that as soon as you go off that pill, nothing will have changed.
Right.
So you really need to work on your mindset, the way that you think, and controlling, not necessarily controlling your thoughts, but catching the negative thoughts when you're sort of beating yourself up or when your attitude's out of whack or when your expectations are too high, and making it more realistic.
That's like at the very end of this week, like that Lucinda at the very end said, it's all about your attitude.
Yeah, sure.
Like you get to choose your attitude, whether you're depressed or anxious or bipolar or schizophrenic or white, black, purple, turquoise, it doesn't matter. Everyone gets to choose their attitude, right?
Yeah.
You can have, I know paraplegics that have great attitudes.
Yeah,
They can't move a muscle in their body, and they're as happy as can be because of their attitude, right?
Well, I think that it's always important to remember that you can't have a feeling without a thought.
Right.
So use your emotions and your feelings as a signal of the way that you're thinking. If you're feeling shitty and anxious, what are you thinking? Or if that's what you're feeling, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
And maybe say, okay, why am I thinking that? And then try using the dialogue switch that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So, medications can be a wonderful partnership with cognitive behavioral techniques, like we're doing. The problem comes when people think the pill solves the issue entirely.
Right.
People may think they'll just take a pill forever and they'll be fine. The problem with that is medication tends to be habituating, and the doses will need to be increased over time to achieve the same effect.
Right.
So it's just like anything, your tolerance can build up, and then you have to go back and readjust and readjust and readjust.
And if you have an addictive personality, you're going to be hooked on them. I know for me, I was hooked on my anti-anxiety, like the stuff that make me sleep.
Yeah.
I was hooked on them.
The pills. I was too, sleeping pills.
Couldn't get off them at all.
Yeah.
Until I overdosed.
Hard, man.
I overdosed on them and damn near died.
Really?
And that's how I finally got off them. Was in a hospital, medically withdrawing from them because it was that crazy. Seroquel. That's what I was on. Seroquel, and it.
Is that the one that we posted some recent articles about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's fucking deadly.
It's scary, But I mean, Seroquel really does help. It's like an antipsychotic.
That's
as
the
well.
thing, right?
So I can see how it helps that way. For me, I told my doctor a few times, like, hey, like, this is getting a little aggressive. Like, I have to take 2 now,
Right,
to get to sleep, and then I have to take 3, right?
Yeah.
And the day I overdosed on them, I took 80.
Wow.
Like, I took 80 and a 40 of Gibson's whiskey, and they found me with like 7 beats a minute for a heart rate, and that's how medication doesn't work for me.
Right.
You know, I play that tape all the way through. I'm getting, you know, emergency to the emergency room real quick. So I think for me, even though I struggle with sleep, I just try to do what I can when I'm awake.
Yeah.
I guess, right? Like
Sure.
if I wake up in the middle of the night, I might do some work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I might work on some 105 stuff, or I might even go for a walk, you know, in the middle of the night. It's nice.
You're big on walks. Yeah.
I love walking.
Sure.
And I think that, like, especially more so with this program, it's like all about kind of your body is all, you only get one of these things, right?
Take good care of it.
You better take good care of it. Like exercise, I think, is really key. And if you're anxious and not exercising, then you're going to be anxious.
Yeah. Well, we know that the anxiety from previous episodes is adrenaline, is cortisone. These are stress hormones, basically. And you need a way to burn that off in a healthy way. It's just an overreactive fight or flight response that you have going on.
I'm not saying that I go and run a marathon.
No, you don't need
run
to.
At all. I just walk.
Yeah.
And I think because I have 2 legs, they're able to walk. That's what I'm going to do.
Right. And we talk about gratitude a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe go for a walk and start thinking about all the things that you're grateful for, because you can't have sort of fear-based thinking or anxiety-based thinking if you're feeling grateful.
Yeah.
It's just you can't. They don't go hand in hand. So again, start trying to think about little things. That's one really quick way to snap yourself out of it. It's just think, okay, well, what am I grateful for in my life? And because it can always be worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always be worse. We're pretty lucky, man.
We're very, very, very fortunate. Yeah.
Like just to be living where we live, just to have a roof over your head, food on the table. I mean, you're ahead of the game.
Yeah, for sure. Good friends.
Yeah, good friends, exactly. Good support system, and you've got that here. Hopefully you know that by now. People with anxiety are often prone to self-medicate, whether with alcohol or other drugs. They tend to end up abusing the medications either way. Yeah. So you're a prime example of that, right?
And I'm an addict. Like I think I was born an addict. I think something traumatic had to happen to like make that allergy kind of react.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think I've always been an alcoholic and at least
an addict.
Have an addictive personality with that stuff, and it didn't matter if it was like icing from a cake.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it gave me that shot of something, I was gonna have all of that.
Right.
And I think when I was drinking, you know what I mean?
It's a good way to think about it.
I would get so amped up after the first beer because I think there's only 23 left.
Really?
Right?
Oh my god, yeah.
I have 1 beer and I'd be all amped up because there's only 23 left.
I don't know if I don't think I ever had that thought specifically.
Never. Oh, I had that thought a lot.
I didn't even like to look at how many drinks were remaining. I as soon as I had a case, like, okay, we're good until tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right?
I was always scared that I had a huge fear of running out of booze.
Really?
And I always would.
Yeah.
When you drink all the booze, you're gonna run out eventually.
That's such a shitty spot to be in.
It is such a shitty spot. And I think with the drink and the booze, and I didn't know that I had depression at that time, but alcohol is a depressant, right?
Yeah.
And so adding a depressant while you're depressed didn't help out my, mental wellness at all. Made me sicker.
No.
Made me make dumb decisions.
And the hangover the next day doesn't help any.
It's like hangover plus guilt and shame.
Plus guilt, shame, anxiety. What did I do? What did I say?
Embarrassment. You got to call your buddies and say like, ugh.
Right. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I think that we're all addicted to something. Mm-hmm. It's just important to get. Obviously, you don't want to. I don't know if addiction is the right thing, but like some people will get addicted to exercise to an extreme.
Yep.
Some people will get focused on their dieting to an extreme. It's all about just balance. Yeah. Balance. But if you're going to get addicted to something, get addicted to the good stuff.
Right.
Right? I mean, if you have that and you know that, it's better to be probably, in my opinion, for whatever it's worth, I think I'd rather be addicted to exercise than crystal meth. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. So it just depends on...
I agree with you totally. Like, If that's what it is and I have to exercise, I get that it's about balance. But I'd much rather be like addicted to exercise or bettering myself or, you know what I mean? Like bettering my body or
the
my
problem
mind.
is it's way easier to smoke a fucking pipe than it is to go box some iron. But
it's
like,
this,
yeah,
or this.
Yeah.
Right?
Which one's going to get the result faster?
Right, exactly. And addicts, we need instant gratification.
Yeah.
We need it now, right? And if you have to work out, it's going to take a while to see results.
Yeah.
Smoking crack or meth, right?
Yeah.
You get high right away, but that doesn't solve anything.
No, not at all. It's an escape.
Like, I lost my teeth like 9 months after starting to smoke crystal meth. Like
9 months? That's all
that
it's
quick, and just they started dropping out of my face.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's like my worst dream. I have dreams about teeth falling out.
I like real bad bone infection from it because I would not focus on this stuff. I wouldn't focus on my anxiety. Get so anxious, smoke a bunch of meth, still be anxious, and just be high, right? Feel filthy and dirty.
Really?
And then I would get anxious when my teeth started falling out. And then I got real bad bone infection, like in my jawbone all the way down to here. It was like puffy. Had to have surgery. Like when I was in treatment, I had to have surgery, and they, thank God for the Ministry of Health in the country we live in. You know, like, I'm grateful that the Ministry of Health helped me get a new smile. Right?
Yeah, no kidding.
That smile's taken me a long way.
Yeah,
I didn't smile for a long time because I just have like shards of teeth.
Really?
Yeah, and I was so embarrassed.
Well, yeah, man.
But I keep smoking meth, right? I knew that was the source. And yet I'd still smoke it.
Crazy, man. But that's the addiction, right?
The addiction. And I think that's the sickness, right? You know, like people that, again, you know, people that don't take their insulin when they're diabetic, they go crazy.
Yeah.
They go to diabetic shock, right?
And someone you see some of these shows with people that are addicted to overeating.
Right.
They know the reason why they're putting on weight. They just don't, same thing.
Stop.
So, so
because addiction's real. Like, I think addiction is the realest thing ever that doesn't discriminate against anyone. It doesn't matter where you came from or what your job is or how much money is in your bank account or what you drive.
Right.
Addiction will get anyone.
Sure.
You know?
100%, man. And it can rip lives apart. I've seen it. I've seen it rip my my best buddy and roommate. It led to his suicide.
Yeah.
And that was
the ripple effect from that is still going on. You know what I mean?
100%, man. It's still
2 years.
Almost 2 years later.
2 years later, and that ripple effect is still.
It'll be 2 years around Christmas Eve of this year. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's still absolutely. I mean, every time that we do this, he's still on my mind, and so are the other people that we've lost this year. Like,
and we do that for those people, right? We're making sure, we're trying to do our best that we don't have to go through that stuff anymore, right?
And we don't want you to either.
Never, no.
Fuck, it's heartbreaking.
I think that's why we're being successful with this podcast. Is that if anyone out there is struggling, you know that you can reach out to either of us.
Yeah.
You know, Scott too, anytime.
For sure.
And we have great resources. I guess that's the best thing about being in recovery is that we've got a lot of networking done, and a lot of resources, and we can hook people up with, you know, phone numbers that they can call. I'm not a counselor, and I don't want to give anyone the wrong advice. Right. I just have my experience.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is sometimes it's nice to know that, like, okay, these guys have gone through it. I mean, whatever your drug of choice is. I mean, mine wasn't crystal meth. Mine was blow. Mine was coke.
Yeah.
I never smoked anything other than weed, and other than that, I guess like I consider it myself a little lucky because I didn't go down that road because I hear it's more addictive, and I didn't lose any teeth, and you know, my nose is probably like got a hole through it somewhere. But other than that, it depends. I mean, I consider myself the lucky kind of gentleman in recovery.
Absolutely, yeah. I consider myself very lucky that, like, and I did all those drugs. I consider myself very lucky for finding an avenue out of that.
Yeah.
And, like, I was through a lot of detox, a lot of treatment, like 7 treatment centers I've been to, 6 detox.
Yeah.
Ton of support, people around me that like won't give up on me, right? And I think that's what got me sober. That's what's kept me sober. It's not me alone.
Yeah.
You need a community, right? They say like a village raises a child. You know, a village still raises you when you're 30 years old. Yeah. And I think always that I'm very grateful for that.
Absolutely, buddy. And I mean, everything that you've gone through just adds to your story, makes that impact for others. So I mean, you're very easy to approach. So hopefully, anyone that's out there, again, don't hesitate to reach out to either of us. We're really going to be pushing the fact that you can reach out to us this month, because we know it's a bad month for a lot of people. Just statistically proven that, right? So it can be very difficult to get an individual to stay on a medication indefinitely, because when one little thing happens that triggers their anxiety, rather than cope with it, they look for the answer in a pill or a bottle. They end up taking another pill. So this is the same thing. I mean, when you look for that Band-Aid fix,
Right.
and this is what it was like for me, personally. I didn't want to wait the 3 weeks to a month for any anti-anxiety or depression medication to work. So in that time, I was drinking, and you're not supposed to be drinking. It's like the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But how many fucking people in this world are self-medicating with alcohol and kind of, honestly, in a way, I see a lot of people kind of treat it as a joke, like, I fucking need a glass of wine or whatever, right? Yeah. Well, they say to take the edge off, but that edge is anxiety.
Right.
Why don't you just deal with that in a healthy way?
Right.
So I really think that in order to get any kind of problem, if it's anxiety or depression, under control, you need to cut out the alcohol, at least for the time being.
Oh, for sure. I couldn't address my sexual abuse, my post-traumatic stress, my depression while I was still drinking. I just couldn't. I tried it.
Yeah.
It didn't work. I had to get sober. And for a while, I had to be sober for, I think the first time I got into a trauma group, I was 9 months sober. And I just had to learn how to be sober first. That's it. Just learn to live without going to the liquor store, without going to the beer store every day. And then it got to a point where I could address my trauma. And I'm so grateful that I, did that sober.
Yeah.
That I was able to do it. Because you're able to understand it then. You're able to absorb it. At that point, I didn't know the depths of post-traumatic stress. I had no idea what that.
Right.
But I'd get so mad at myself for having nightmares.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I would beat myself up for having flashbacks.
Right.
People with post-traumatic stress have flashbacks.
That happens.
It's a normal reaction to an abnormal circumstance. That makes me feel a lot better. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That anyone in this situation would react that way.
Yeah.
Anyone that has post-traumatic stress probably struggles with nightmares.
Right.
Or flashbacks. And that's all right. That's what happens with people that have depression. Sometimes they're depressed.
Right. And you think
that's okay.
And you think PST caused depression for you, or do you think that it just kind of went hand in hand?
I think I had depression before.
Yeah?
Yeah, okay. I do. I think I really felt it when I broke my leg.
Yeah.
When I was playing hockey and I broke my leg because I had been on the rink for 18 years. As much as I could, and then I broke my leg and I couldn't go to the rink. Or I could go to the rink.
And that was your livelihood.
That was my livelihood.
Yeah.
I didn't have a plan B. That's what I was going to do. And
right.
So I think that was the first time I ever felt depression. Was I would go to the rink and I had this big leg brace on to get to watch my buddies play, and I'd have to sit on the bench.
Right.
Here I'll fill
Did you ever think of maybe taking medication back then? Did you
for depression?
Yeah.
No, I drank.
No, that's what you did.
I drank, yeah.
And I think that's a common thing that people do. It's it's almost like drinking is socially acceptable, whereas to go to the doctor and potentially take a prescription medication seems like it might be frowned upon. Maybe your ego's too big to admit that you need that. I think we're kind of breaking down the stigma when it comes to medication.
Yeah.
A lot of people are on it right now.
Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with being on medication.
Not at all.
I was on medication
just be
for
careful.
a long time. I mean, you just have to be careful with it.
Read the literature.
Mm-hmm.
Know what you're taking. Know what the side effects are. Know what the rebound's going to be like when you try to get off that stuff, because
that's the big thing. Know what it's going to be like when you come off of it, right?
Yeah, and you aren't. Chances are you're not going to be on it forever. You're going to think at one point in time you don't need it anymore. Hopefully you've done some of this stuff and developed some coping skills, because coming off that medication alone can trigger some fucking shitty anxiety.
If you're taking medication right now, don't stop it tonight.
Not at all. Yeah, we do not. Don't ever do anything just by watching the show. Go talk to your doctor.
Talk to your doctor for sure. And for medication like that, you have to be weaned off of it, and that's the healthy way to do it, right?
Cold turkey is fucking nightmare,
and it's dangerous.
Yeah,
it's dangerous for your body.
Yeah,
you can give yourself a heart attack.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. Because you get so anxious, right? And you're used to having this stuff.
It's gonna freak people out right there.
Well, I
know.
Don't stop taking your medication. If you're taking it, keep taking it. Talk to your doctor about weaning off of it if that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor. I don't know if anyone wants me to be a doctor. To be honest.
You'd have to go back and do a little bit of training.
Yeah.
By prescribing the medication, it can take away the motivation to learn skills like this. So that's a lot of people go to the doctor's office and they want the medication for a quick fix, because they don't want to put the time in. Life is one of those fucking instant gratification scenarios these days. Everybody wants.
I think we're speeding up too. I think we're getting so much faster than we did, say, 20 years ago.
But if you want to grow and you want to beat something that's causing you problems, taking a pill without doing any kind of changing yourself, any kind of personal development work, it's not going to do a thing.
No.
It's a temporary fix. As soon as you stop taking that pill, you have learned nothing.
Right.
Yeah. So, and again, your tolerance is going to increase. You're going to continue to need more. And not if you need it, you need it. But try to explore other avenues while you're on it.
While you're on it, right?
Yeah.
I think with that too, like if you're on medication and you're trying other avenues, that might be a great way to absorb that stuff. That you're trying other avenues and you're taking this medication, right? So that when that switch
memory
happens,
or whatever.
Yeah. When that switch happens, you get off that medication. You still have those tools, right? You still have the. For me, I play a ton of guitar, right? I color, I walk. Like, those are my things. Like I haven't played guitar for like 2 days, and I can feel it.
Really?
I totally can.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you know that that's one of your go-tos for relieving stress.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're at a point where you can't, a lot of people with anxiety are afraid of medication to begin with and don't want to take it. So. It's kind of funny because you've got two different extremes here. You've got people that get anxious about taking the anxiety medication, but then you've got people that abuse the medication.
Right.
And if you're at a point where you can't even function and the skills you've been discussing just seem like too much work, then maybe you do need to take a medication temporarily. But that's the minority. Most people with anxiety are functioning and hiding it.
Bingo.
Yeah. Untreated depression, we're going to talk a little bit about depression now. Untreated depression can lead to death in the form of suicide, as we've mentioned. Big fear for us, really.
Big fear. Yeah.
So at times, medication can be life-saving. It's a disease that needs to be taken very seriously. Medicines today are much better than they used to be, with fewer side effects, and are extraordinarily effective. So obviously we've come a long way since the days of everybody Valium and Prozac being sort of the majors. Some of the stuff that you can take now, I remember the last medication I was on, which was like 3 years ago, was I think it was called Cipralex.
Yeah, Cipralex is one of them.
Yeah.
Prestige, that's another one.
Yeah. Have you been on either?
I've been on Prestige. I've been on Effexor. I've been on clonazepam, lorazepam, Seroquel.
Yeah.
Prozac, been on Prozac. Prozac for me just did, like, I wasn't happy, glad, sad, mad, nothing. I was just numb, and I was a struggle for me to even beat myself up.
Really?
To know that I'm numb.
Really?
It was like hard for me to do because I just was like.
You're just kind of floating through
life. I was like going through like the Macy's Day Parade, right?
Right.
And that's all. And that's not a way to live. If that's the way it's going for anyone, like just talk to your doctor to switch up your medication because life is it's out there. It's beautiful, right? And if you're just floating around, it's
important to feel things.
Yeah, you gotta feel things, right? You feel it, and you just and you go through life with it. I think all those things that I've been through in life, I'm never going to get over them, and I feel them still.
Right.
But they walk with me in life, right? Like they don't use me anymore.
Right. I mean, it is a journey that you're on. You are supposed to feel things. You are going to go through some shitty situations, and you're going to go through some great situations as well. So just be patient and remember that you are a human being, and you were meant to feel. Like if it's a feeling, say you're about to do when Paulie goes on stage and talks. If you're about to be Paulie going on and giving a motivational talk, you're gonna get nervous and a little bit of anxiety. Every time. But that's something that like you need to experience. That's normal.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily mean he needs medication for it. It's just something that you do over and over again, and eventually just maybe it gets a little bit less and a little bit less.
Yeah.
But how are you really going to give a fantastic speech if you just go in and you're on Prozac and all wound up, right?
Oh, I don't know if I could.
Right?
I really don't know.
Sure, some people can, but
I'm sure they can, yeah.
For you, it doesn't sound like it would have worked.
Yeah, I don't know if it would work for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just accept that I have depression, and I try not to suffer from it. I try to just live with it, right? I just try to say, hey, you know what? Like, because I do struggle with depression quite a bit, and that led to like self-harm for me, right? Which led to multiple suicide attempts. But anytime I'm like thinking about because I burn my legs, that's kind of what I do. And anytime I think about that, I just think like these legs carry me on my skates,
right?
And I have to coach these kids that I'm coaching hockey, and that these legs got to carry that, right? So I have to put these legs not only to work for me but for other people.
Sure.
Just try to reframe that thinking that I can't burn these things anymore because they're being used to teach, right? They're being used to help other people out, and that's my life, right? I love helping people out. I think that helping people helps me.
Yeah, sure. And it should. If you look outside yourself, that's something we talk about a lot here too. Is A lot of anxiety and depression is turned inward. You're focused on yourself. If you start focusing outward at the world and what you can do to make a difference, you'll naturally start to feel better.
If you're depressed,
go and
walk an old lady across the street. You won't be depressed after that. You'll feel accomplished that you've helped someone else out.
You made a difference.
You made a difference.
As small as that may be, right?
I live in a building with a bunch of old ladies, and I love carrying their groceries.
Yeah, they probably love you too.
They do, they do. They definitely do.
So when we get back to the medications, the newer medications, some of them now work for obsessive thoughts. Some work for panic attacks. Whatever your worst symptom is, if you describe that with your doctor and you're important with them, it's important to get on the right medication, but they'll be able to guide you to things that will better help you depending on what's the problem. So if you're thinking about hurting yourself or other people and you can't get that thought out of your head, explain that to your doctor, and there'll be a better medication for you than someone that's prone to panic attacks. They go out the house, or maybe agoraphobia where they're even afraid to go out of the house. If you explain what the biggest number one issue is that you're dealing with, then your doctor should be able to better help you pick a medication.
Right. And medication's come such a long way. It really has. Even when I used medication, it's come a long way in that they really can pinpoint it, right? Like people that live with schizophrenia, they should be on medication.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's the healthiest thing for themselves.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's not just having anxiety or depression. That's
exactly.
Schizophrenia is a mental illness, just like depression and anxiety, but that certain mental illness needs medication.
Absolutely. We're not going to disagree with that.
Bipolar, people need medication if they live with bipolar, right? And sometimes people need medication for depression and anxiety, right?
Sure.
I think for me, I've worked with those tools and I've used the medication. I found other tools.
Yeah.
Thank God I got good at guitar.
Yeah.
I tried a lot.
And if you can't get, if you're not a musician and you can't get good at guitar, find something that works for you. Or just explore it.
Yeah.
Explore it, right? Explore yourself.
Yeah. I only got into guitar in my sobriety.
Really?
Yeah. I've never played guitar before, and in my sobriety I've written 2 songs that have gone on albums.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You just work hard at it and you can feel accomplished, and accomplishment and acknowledgement is big for humans.
Yeah.
We want to be acknowledged, and we want to feel accomplished, right?
Absolutely.
That's a human need, I think. It's not on Maslow's hierarchy, but I think it's there. It should be.
So if you're going in to see your doctor and you're contemplating some medication here, just be extremely honest and let them make the right choice for you. That being said, always do your research.
Yeah, for sure. If you don't like that decision, don't just go out on your own and say, "Well, I'm going to just self-medicate."
Right.
Maybe get a second opinion.
Go to another doctor. If you disagree with that doctor, find the right doctor. The doctors are there to work for you. Yeah. So just because one gives you something that you don't agree with, try another one. And if they give the same potential advice as the previous doctor and you disagree with it, these are 2 healthcare professionals. Maybe you should listen. Maybe you're the one that's wrong, right? So the key to all of this is to keep an open mind. The idea isn't just to manage the symptoms, but improve anxiety altogether. And that's why it's important to change the way you think, even while taking medication. If possible, learn how to alleviate the symptoms and prevent them from happening on your own, and use medication as a last resort, as we're kind of saying, unless you desperately need it. Never alter your medication without talking to your doctor. We're just here to give you some things to think about.
Yeah.
Really. And we've talked about that. We really don't want you to adjust your medication or start medication you can't start medication without a prescription, I guess. But either way, sit down with your doctor, sit down with people that love you and support you. And you can listen to their opinions, but just remember in your heart you're going to know what you need and what's right for you. So many people this day and age self-medicate with alcohol, and that's not the answer. There are many healthier ways to cope.
Certainly is.
So I think you and I both medicated with alcohol. Is that safe to say?
I think it's just socially acceptable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really is socially acceptable.
And the fucking beer store is a lot easier than booking a doctor's appointment or going to a walking clinic. Right. It comes down to the patient's thing and instant gratification.
Right. Faith and patience is what the 2 biggest things that I've got in recovery is that you have to have patience, but stay in consistent action.
Yeah.
Be patient because things don't You know, it's like talking to a 4-year-old, right?
Yeah.
And they want that toy in the store right now. And you say,
we carry that into our lives as grown-ups.
As grown-ups, for sure,
Yeah.
right? And if we don't arrest that kind of at an early age, then, you know, then that person may live with like in a miserable life where they're entitled that they need instant gratification. And they're going to go to booze because that's instant gratification. They're going to go to drugs. That's instant gratification. Going to a doctor is not instant gratification.
No.
But it's the best thing for you.
It is the best thing for you. I know. It's just one of those things where sometimes sometimes the right thing is the hardest thing. Yeah. Or sometimes the best thing to do for yourself is the hardest thing to do.
That's how my buddy Shawn McCann from Great Big Sea, he always says, if it's hard, I have to do it.
Yeah, sure.
And those are the things that
don't take the easy way. And the same fucking thing, man, with the medication we're talking about.
Don't do the easy stuff.
The easy thing to do here is to go for that medication. But if you can try this, if you don't necessarily need it and you're open to trying, working and developing yourself, I promise you it will be more rewarding.
And that's what it is. It's personal development.
It is personal development.
It's developing who you really are, your core.
Yeah.
And like maybe getting outside your comfort zone and doing something that you've never done and you're really good at.
Right. And we focus on anxiety and depression, but a lot of the stuff that we're talking about here is, like, they teach this shit to businesses, right?
Absolutely.
To become successful. It's to get hardworking employees, a successful environment. So really, at the end of the day, even though we're directing it towards people who are maybe sick, if you want to say that, or they're at I don't want to say you have a disease. I want to say you're at disease. Yeah. It's kind of disease, right? Yeah. If you're in that situation, then we direct this stuff towards you, but it is for everyone. And just be patient with yourself, be patient with the process.
I think every human on Earth at some point is going to go through a moment of anxiety or a moment of depression, right? Like if you have
you're human.
If you have a cat,
I
hate to break it to you, your cat's going to die.
Yeah, probably outlive you. Yeah, you're going to outlive your cat. Yeah.
And so then you have to have. Les Brown taught me this. He said, "What's in you to keep you in the game? When those bad things happen, what do you got inside here that's going to keep you in the game? Right?
Right.
Resilience. Right?
Yeah.
They're like, I did the best I could for that cat. I've never owned a cat.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you did the best thing you could for that. And it's whatever you got right here that's going to keep you in the game. Work on that.
And that's where I think being in the present moment is key. Like when you work on responding. Remember we talked about how to respond rather than to react. And when you're actually staying in the moment and you're making the most of that moment, you can look back without regret.
Yeah, bingo. And that's the best thing, is looking back without regret. And
right.
Just looking back with gratitude, right?
Yeah.
And saying, maybe I did some shady things in my past, but like those things grew into life lessons. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't want to be that guy, or I don't want to do that thing. And right. Going into lessons that you can take it further in life, right? And they might at the time seem like shitty things.
Yeah. Before you begin any kind of treatment for anxiety or depression, you need to stop abusing alcohol.
Bingo.
And better yet, cut it fully out of your life if you can, at least while you... to be completely honest, this is how I started with my sobriety.
Right.
I did this program and I said, you know what? For these 15 weeks upcoming, I'm not going to have a drop of alcohol. I'm going to work on this. By the time the anxiety and depression was under control, I liked the fact that I had made it over 3 months without a drink. I said, you know what? I'm going to make this a year. I got to the year mark. I said, you know what? I don't really want to drink anymore. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah. What are you at now? 19 months? 20 months?
Almost, this will be 21 months on the 23rd.
Boom.
Yeah, so.
Good for you.
Get there, bro.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I think, that's alcohol. For people that give up alcohol that are alcoholics, it's like putting a gun in their hand and then the scope, and they're shooting the biggest deer of their life. But if they pull the trigger, it'll kill them. Right. You know, that's what getting sober is, right?
Yeah,
it's not white knuckling it, right? But it's like that. We're all this far away from another drink.
That's true. I like that. The arm's length.
You know, we're all that far away, so it's hard.
Yeah.
It's not easy to be an alcoholic that doesn't drink.
No, it's not.
It's not easy at all.
The thing is, though, and I've had this debate. I don't want to get into it too much, though. But people have come on the podcast who have been full-out alcoholics. And I'll ask them what it's like to, have to go to AA and this and that. And I think and I don't want to say they'll be like, oh, you're in denial. But the thing is that I was able to stop on my own.
Right.
And I don't want to drink. I can be around drinks now. I don't want to. It's not something.
And I think that's just the hardcore work you've done on yourself.
Maybe that's all it is. And maybe underneath it all is, I've gone to an AA meeting and I sit there And I hear these stories, and I hear people say, "Hi, I'm so and so, and I'm an alcoholic." And I've said, "Hey, I'm Shawn, and I'm an alcoholic." I'm like, that doesn't sound right, man. Maybe it's just because I don't like labels.
Yeah.
But I think that everybody, I don't think you necessarily, it's not always black and white, right?
I think recovery is very individualistic.
Yeah. So anyway,
because no one's lived the exact same life that you lived every day in, day out.
And we're all different. Right. Sure, some things
might be similar.
Yeah, and certain things obviously work for the majority of people. Right. But not everyone fits in there. Yeah,
for sure. I had to find other, like, I went to AA and I had to find other avenues because I'm not only an alcoholic, you know. Right. I struggle with my mental health. I needed to go see a mental health counselor. Right? I didn't go see a doctor. I was sick. And
that's one thing that you told me. Like, I mean, there's a lot of people that believe these 12-step programs will work for, like, anything in your life, right? But the funny thing is when you go to AA, and I've only been to one meeting ever to help a friend.
Right.
But when I went there, and you told me this, you're like, man, they don't let you talk about drugs. It's all about alcohol, right? So there's certain things where you can go in and talk about, what is it, like NA is Narcotics Anonymous?
Yeah, Narcotics Anonymous, and CA is the Cocaine Anonymous.
Right, so it's almost like you have these different groups for whatever your poison is, I guess.
I think we should just all be inclusive.
Yeah.
We're all people, right? And we all have
why isn't there something where you can just, like, if you want to talk about coke,
we should make one.
Yeah, we should. It's an all-inclusive, like, you could be recovering from an eating disorder. Let's fucking address that.
But you could be having a struggle with gambling.
It should literally just be recovery.
Right.
That's it. Anyway, and then we can have everyone...
Because we put everyone in these small jars now. Do you know what I mean? We say, we're going to shake this jar up, but don't talk about that jar. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And meanwhile, we're like...
Rarely are you drinking... Rarely are you just an alcoholic, right?
Very rarely.
Right.
I mean, I know a few, but for me, if I had, like... It was bad. Like, I'd have 6 beers, and I'd be like, call them.
Yeah, exactly. Make that call. Make that call.
Still drink, and still get whatever I was going to get, right?
Yeah.
6 beers, 6 or 7 was kind of my...
You always want to switch it up.
Yeah.
The alcohol gives you that courage to do that.
Courage, yeah.
I want more.
And then the liquor, right? Then, like, not beers, then it's liquor, and you make dumb decisions.
Yeah. So, as we're talking about drinking problems, if you feel like you have a drinking problem... fix that before you do anything else.
Yeah,
don't try to go through this program if you don't have your alcohol addiction or whatever addiction under control. The unfortunate thing is, most people that self-medicate become addicts through that, but the issue is something completely different. Like, if your issue is anxiety and depression, this is actually, believe it or not, and I strongly believe that anxiety and depression are easier to treat than alcoholism and addiction.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with
that. So by going to this self-medication route, if you become hooked on that substance, it's going to become a lot harder for you to deal with that than the original source of the problem.
Then absolutely, for sure. Yeah. And I think that, like, drugs and alcohol, when you're anxious, it's hard to be a recreational user.
Right.
Or it's hard to be, like, a social drinker when you're
not thinking properly anyway.
Right? You're like, I had the worst day ever. I'm going to have 6 beers.
Yeah.
Well, are you having a social time?
Yeah.
You know, like, you might have a great time. Yay. But you're going to wake up tomorrow morning, still be mad about the day.
Yeah.
Getting hungover.
Yeah.
Probably be shame and guilt and embarrassment. You might have pissed yourself. I don't know. That's what I did when I drank, right?
I've done that before too.
Not proud, but that's honest.
No, absolutely. Right? The average person using alcohol excessively is suffering from depression and anxiety. And if they can't cut back on alcohol, that usually clears... if they can cut back on alcohol, that usually clears the brain enough to be able to develop these coping skills.
Right.
So,
I like that when they said that if you're abusing alcohol, that more than likely you're struggling with anxiety or depression, right?
Yeah,
and that's
just a high percentage.
Huge.
Yeah.
I think that, like, the stat 1 in 5, I love that because it's my business, right?
Yeah.
But I honestly think that's a very conservative number. I think that it's, like, more like 1 in 3, maybe 50% of Canadians deal with this stuff. And
I think I think we've kind of gone over the topic that if you're human, you will at one point in your life. Anxiety is a part of life. Yeah. Depression is a part of life. Yeah. So if we're going to put those in a mental illness category, then it's 1 in 1.
Right, 1 in 1.
Yeah.
Every single person.
Right.
Absolutely.
And even if it is, and we know that statistically now they're saying that, like, it's 1 in 4 in a year and 1 in 3 in a lifetime.
Right.
So that means that if you get married and have a kid, one of you is going to be dealing with mental illness.
That's right.
So anyone that starts a family, basically,
That's it.
You know? I
so we need to start teaching the tools.
That's right. So why isn't this a bigger topic of conversation?
Like, I don't know if we're, in our lifetime, we're ever going to get rid of stigma. But maybe in our grandchildren's lifetime, they won't even know what stigma is. Someone might come up to them and say, oh, I'm really struggling with my anxiety. And that person's just going to say, here, I know exactly where to bring you.
Right, sure.
You know, like that would be the ultimate.
That would be the ultimate
that
world.
We could just, you know, someone could say, hey, I see that you're struggling with depression. Can I take you to a crisis center?
Right.
You know, and just be like a normal person on the street. I don't think that's going to happen in our lifetime. If we can teach that to our kids.
Let's be hopeful about it, right?
You know, we're going to change the world.
Yeah, right? 100%. So it's hard enough in this life to really get it together and make things work living a sober lifestyle. So why consume drugs and alcohol in excess? You really have no chance.
No.
Like, I know that people kind of work 9 to 5 during the week, go out on the weekends, and that's kind of your release. I get that.
Right.
But if you're, I mean, we can get into this whole thing about why you don't love your job and you feel that you need that escape. But the main thing that I want to touch base on there is that, are you going to actually relieve stress, or and even then, are you relieving anxiety? Like, is this a way that you're going to be medicating and self-medicating? Because guess what? Everything that you're running away from is going to be even worse the next day.
Oh, 100%. I always think, like, if you hate your job that much, that you got to drink crazy amounts on the weekend, get a new job.
Yeah, sure. It's not worth it. Job. Like, is it worth it?
It's not worth starting, you know? I'm a big believer that, like, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life,
Me
right?
too, man.
And I'm grateful that I got a job that I love. Like, I'm so great because I don't work. I feel like I don't work. I feel like I just live my life, right?
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, if I was in a job that I hated, like, I would hate to be like a bank teller.
No offense, but
I would.
Some people love it. It's just not for you.
I hate to be a bank teller.
Yeah.
You know, like, I wouldn't find any enjoyment in that at all, like, at all. And I think that. Thank God I'm not a bank teller.
Right.
And I know that. I have enough self-awareness to know that that's not the job for me, right?
Right.
I think if you hate your job that much that you have to medicate and numb out, there's another job out there for you.
There's something better for you. Yeah. You're not following your heart.
Right.
You're not being true to what it is you're passionate about.
You're just getting satisfied, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just getting satisfied.
A lot of this is about making a real conscious decision that you want to change. We're talking again about cutting out alcohol. Mm-hmm. So make that conscious decision that you want to change. If you really do want to change, people say they want to change all the fucking time.
Yeah.
But they don't, because your actions speak louder than your words, and you're doing the same fucking thing you do every other weekend.
Or I like the people
you're at the same bar stool.
Right. I love the people that are like, oh yeah, I got sober.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what did you do last night? Went and got trashed.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only just this time this week.
Yeah.
Oh, but you got sober.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I think sobriety means like a lifestyle shift for me.
Absolutely.
Sobriety and recovery is life and death.
Yeah.
If I drink again, I'm more than likely going to die. I got a pretty, it's probably about 98, 99% that I'm going to die if I drink again.
Really?
And
just knowing that is enough to obviously.
Enough to not, and not from anything. I think that my mental illnesses, if I drank again, my mental illnesses would get the best of me.
Right.
And I'm just not willing to risk that.
Well, you know why they call them spirits, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
They say, I mean, this is, obviously, it could be crazy witchcraft.
Right.
But they say, I read this article not too long ago, I think I posted it on the Sex and Suicide site, actually. But they say that they're called spirits because back in the whatever day and age it was, they believed that as soon as you drank, you were easily taken over by spirits, not necessarily good ones. So, I mean, if you already have a mental illness, you're probably dealing with some demons in there, and alcohol and drugs can amplify whatever's going on. The good news about people with anxiety and depression is they seem to want to get better. Excuse you, buddy.
Sorry, buddy.
It's okay. This is because it's such a painful condition, which actually makes it easier to treat than alcoholism, as we've talked about. If you have an addicted personality type, you need to make a conscious effort to end that addiction, whether it's drugs, alcohol, or negative thinking. Yeah. So even the anxiety that we've talked about, if you're addicted to the bad behavior of negative thinking, if you are constantly beating yourself up, if you're worrying, if you're feeling guilty, we've gone over the fact that these are bad habits that you need to break, and we've talked about how to break those. You'll have to tune into previous episodes if you don't know what the hell we're talking about. But it's just as addictive as a drug or self-medicating is your way that you think.
Some people are so addicted to chaos that like when it's not chaotic, they need to create it.
That's anxiety too, though, because you can't sit still.
They can't sit still, right?
Yeah.
I just think like I'm a drama-free guy. I just don't like drama, and so like I'm not a big fan of chaos or conflict because I kind of went through a lot of that as a kid, like in my house, and it freaked me out. So I don't ever want to like scrap in front of my kids or like I don't want to abandon my kids. Do you know what I mean? And I think a lot of that stems from a long time ago, but at the same time, I don't know if that'll ever happen. I don't know if I would allow that to ever happen, just from where I am in life, right? And I think a lot of that stems from being anxious.
Yeah.
Maybe I drank a lot, and I scrapped a lot, I
me
fought a
too.
lot when I didn't win a lot of fights either. I won a lot of fights on the ice.
Yeah.
Get me in a bar, I was getting my
it's just different, though. It's totally different. Bar fights.
Because I'd be swinging like this.
Yeah. It's crazy when you look back on some of that stuff. I honestly believe that back when I was drinking a lot, I did think I created chaos and drama. I created it for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And I can take responsibility for that now. And a lot of the things that happened to me that I blamed on other people, fuck, man, like it was I attracted that.
Yeah.
Like if you want to talk about the law of attraction, I was complaining, I was drinking, I was hanging out with all the wrong kinds of people. I was using drugs. I always had them available for people. So of course, there's going to be drama that comes with that kind of lifestyle. And why when we're younger we think that's cool.
There's nothing cool about it.
No,
it really isn't.
I don't know. Maybe it's fucking Hollywood or something. But like
too much energy. I think you got to waste so much energy on being like chaotic, right? You got to waste so much energy, and if you just kind of live in the moment or in a peaceful kind of state.
Yeah.
You get to save that energy up for where it's really needed. Love.
Mm-hmm.
You get to love your friends. You get to, you get to love what you eat. You get to love where you live. Yeah. If you're not always in that negative, like you say, like people being addicted to that negative thinking. That can be fatal.
Oh, it can be.
Ultimately, that can be fatal,
And I remember, like, if I think back, I can probably tell you that I wanted people, because I was so emotionally weak, and I didn't know what I was dealing with, the anxiety and depression, or I didn't want to admit that I was dealing with it, and it was my own struggle.
Yeah.
I didn't mind people thinking I was crazy and going to snap and beat the shit out of them or get into a fight, whatever.
You'd keep them at bay.
At least if they thought I was crazy, they wouldn't attack me emotionally, right? And that was like my defense mechanism.
Defense, it's putting up a wall.
Yeah, and it's something that, you look back and you're not proud of, but you can say, I've come a long way since then.
For sure.
And don't get me wrong, people still piss me off.
Oh, yeah.
And I still get heated over things that I probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day...
not perfection, man.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I wish I could be like, if you believe in religion at all, I mean, I don't even really want to go there, but Jesus Christ, for example... Right. Forgave everyone for mistreating him. Right. I wish I could do that, but I don't want to let people, step on me.
Right. You don't want to be a doormat.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got to find a little bit of balance in there. Yeah. As much as I think that every situation can be resolved in a loving way as opposed to an aggressive way, I still get angry. I think
the biggest person that we all have to forgive is ourselves.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we've done some shady things, and we got to forgive ourselves because we're human.
Yeah.
And if we put ourselves on this pedestal that we got to be perfect, we're gonna bust our expectations every time, right? We're just human.
Yeah. And we've talked about that, bro. Like we talked about the potential risk of perfectionist thinking.
Yeah.
And how that can fuck you up.
Oh man, big time.
So.
Big time.
Gradual reduction is the best way to cut back on anything, whether it's drugs, alcohol, or prescription medication. Like Paulie was saying earlier, do not cut that shit cold turkey. It's not a good way to do things. So any kind of relief, whether it's medication, drugs, alcohol, cut back slowly. Gradual.
And if you need if you need detox. That's a medical way to detox, is going to a facility. If that's what you need, they'll do it gradually for you. Or if they, when I went to a detox, I had to stop right then, but I knew that I was going to be safe if I had a seizure. There was doctors right there.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was right there. That if things did go south quick, that those people were right there. Right. I wasn't on the street. I wasn't. And I needed to be medically detoxed. The first time I was in detox for 14 days in Hamilton.
Yeah.
Like coming off heroin, crystal meth, and all that stuff, just because I could not I couldn't do it. Like I just couldn't do it. So I walked into I got sentenced into a
14 days.
Yeah, into 14 days, and then I went to treatment for 55 days.
Did they say that it was 14 days, or is that kind of...
That's the longest in Ontario that
you can stay?
Yeah, it's 14 days.
Okay, so you obviously really needed a bad cleanse or whatever you want to call that.
I was in detox. Here's a little insight into detox centers if people don't know. You go into an observatory for the first 3 days, because your first 3 days of coming off anything, alcohol, drugs, eating, gambling, whatever your addiction is, your mind has gone into another state because it's so used to having those drugs and alcohol. So your mind, your brain, your body is going into shock almost, and so you're in these observatory rooms, or every detox center that I've ever been in is you go into these observatory rooms and people watch you all day long. And it's not like a zoo, but they're there to watch you to make sure that nothing bad happens. And I mean, when I was in Hamilton, the first 3 days, I just laid in this thing, sick as a dog, puking all over the place.
So people were watching you throw up all over the place?
Yeah. But I mean, at that point,
it's for your safety.
It's for my safety. Someone was going to watch me puke on the street, or I can puke in a hospital.
Yeah, where they might film you and put it on YouTube. Whereas these people actually have your health.
And they're going to rehydrate you. They're going to give you some fruit. They're going to make sure that you're okay.
Yeah.
And if you're not okay, they can take you right there.
Right.
If you need to go in and get medically detoxed, you can go right there.
Right.
I think it's a very safe option too. I don't think anyone should ever feel harm that if they've been in detox for 14 days. Don't feel shame in that.
No.
You probably need that, right? I definitely needed it.
Yeah.
Oh, I needed it bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you say that your message is to someone right now that could potentially be watching and needs detox? Do you think that they're feeling like they don't need detox? Do you think that they're feeling like they'd be ashamed to go to detox?
I don't think that for me personally, I think detox was the first step to my freedom.
Right.
It was the first step to say, I don't know how else to stop. I got to go to somewhere and stop, and these people have what I need to stop.
Right.
And that's, I think, for me now, looking back, I probably didn't think that way going through it, but hindsight, I look back and I think that was the first step to my freedom.
Right.
It was really just putting the plug in the jug, and I couldn't do that on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I tried so many times to do that on my own, and I needed someone else to show me a different way to live.
Right.
And I got that through people at detox, at treatment, at meetings, at therapy groups, from my counselor. I've put that all into my toolbox now, right? They taught me how to open up my toolbox. They gave me tools and taught me how to open that up, and it's all up to me to use those tools, right? You can have a toolbox full of greatness, but no one's holding a gun to my head saying you have to go play guitar because you're anxious.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to have some self-awareness.
Yeah.
That if you're feeling anxious, go try what works best for you to get less anxious. Go help someone.
Yeah.
Go and help someone. I think it really helps to help, and especially in those situations. I'm not saying if you're using every day and you feel like you need detox to go help someone. You know what I mean? I'm saying that once you go through that the detox phase, which I'm not going to sugarcoat it, it's hell.
Yeah.
But it's necessary.
Right.
It's like the self-care thing. Self-care is not selfish.
Right.
It's necessary. We need that as humans to care for ourselves, and I think
others,
for sure. If we're not taking care of ourselves, we're doing an injustice to other people, right? Mm-hmm. We're doing an injustice to ourselves, but at the same time, as soon as you get through that detox, the shitty phase, it does get better.
Right.
It really does.
Well, look at you.
Well,
yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I didn't have any, I think I didn't have any teeth in my face. I was living in my car with a negative attitude. And now I get to, do what I do and speak all over the country. And I get to enjoy life, right? Yeah. I get to wake up and enjoy everything that happens. Right. I'm very grateful. I always say, seriously, if you're struggling, stop and smell the roses.
Yeah.
Go to a flower garden and smell those roses.
Right. Literally do it.
Literally stop and smell those roses, and you'll be grateful.
Yeah.
You really will be. I don't know what flowers have in them, but every time I see a big flower garden, I stop and I smell them just to be grateful for the moment, right?
Sure. That's a great way. I mean, we use a lot of cliche stuff like this too shall pass.
Yeah.
Hang in there and stop and smell the roses. And as much as we use those as metaphors, you can actually do this shit. Why not?
Them,
there is some truth there, right? Yeah. Well, there's a total truth there.
They're just gaining little victories, right? That's all it is. Is those little victories that you get every day. That you stop and smell the rose, you say, God, I haven't smelled a rose like that for a long time. That's a little victory that you get to take with you all day.
Yeah.
All day long. So you're struggling, at some point you get to say, wow, like I had a really cool, well, if you want, right? That's a latitude.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Right? You can forget about those roses and still be in a struggle.
Yeah.
It's not going to get you out of the struggle. You know?
I forgot about the roses.
Just go smell the roses. I'm going to get you some roses. I forgot.
I know.
I'll get Gerber daisies or something.
Depression is something we really need to be more open to discussing and admitting to others. It's something we deal with only, what did I say? Yeah, something we deal with only then can we get the support we need without self-medicating. Don't be afraid of it. Face it. It's part of the human condition. We will all experience it at some point in our lives. You are not alone.
Yeah.
And we've kind of gone over that. But it's really important that we start having these conversations and reach out to this is the thing, is that when you're depressed or anxious, you probably have what's considered a safe person or a safe place.
Yeah.
So if you need help, that safe person is obviously your safe person for a reason. We know now, after going through this program, the only safe person is right here.
Right.
They don't exist. But if you're having a tough time talking to anyone at all, go to the person that you do feel the safest.
Or that you trust them most.
That you trust them most. And have these conversations. And just open the dialogue, and at least you'll feel better just by talking about it.
Yeah.
And getting it out.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like a war, keeping that stuff down.
Yeah.
Right? And you get that out, it's a freedom. It's like liberation,
Right. If you are currently on antidepressants or any anxiety meds, by learning these skills, there's a good chance that you can cut down and potentially eliminate medication altogether. If you're considering taking them, research the medication, the side effects, and difficulties people have when trying to get off the medication. Know what you're putting in your body. If your doctor isn't being helpful, switch. They work for you. Sometimes it takes medication to get out of that black hole before you can even think about doing some of this material, as we've discussed. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is hold out your hand and ask for help, as we're kind of saying with the safe person.
I think that's like the strongest thing that I've ever done is be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of like oxymoron, but the strongest thing I ever did was say, I need help.
Yeah.
And someone was there for me. So I feel like that's almost a responsibility of mine now, because someone gave me recovery for free. I didn't have to pay any dues.
Right.
I didn't have to pay anything to get this recovery.
Yeah.
And so I feel like if what was ever freely given to me, I have to give away.
Yeah.
That's how I keep it.
Yeah.
That's another kind of oxymoron, but that's how I keep my recovery, is to give the tools of recovery that I found, give them away to people. Say, like, you don't have to.
Yeah.
This is a way that's worked for, me and a few other people, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And maybe it won't work, but I guess the cool thing about being in recovery and doing the things that we do is we got a ton of tools.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And if one doesn't work, we can go to another one.
Right.
We can go to another one if that doesn't work.
Sure.
We can go to another one. And that's all it is. If you gotta fill your toolbox.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what it is.
Yeah, and hopefully you're starting to get some of those.
Yeah.
Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is ask for help. The important thing for you to get from this session is to understand that you have options.
Yeah.
And I like that line, because really it's not just about going to the liquor store. It's not just about going and picking up whatever.
An 8-ball or whatever.
Sure, an 8-ball, whatever. It can be going to your doctor and having these discussions. Yeah. It can be picking up this program from the Midwest Center. Yeah. So there's lots of options out there, and there's lots of resources available. It's just about kind of getting those feelers out there, and hopefully this is a start. Remember, diet and exercise play a major role. We were just discussing this too.
Huge.
Those are always two great spots to change before anything else. It's amazing how much just changing your diet from that shitty food to the healthy food and getting a little bit of exercise. As we talked about in the very beginning here, cut out sugar if you can, cut back on caffeine. This is stuff that's going to help you to potentially eliminate your panic attacks. Yeah. And when you start to feel those feelings of anxiety coming, get out and go for a walk like Paulie does. Yeah. Get to the gym, clean the house. Just lots of different things you can do, but burn off that energy.
Burn it off,
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. It's negative energy that's surrounding you, and you have to burn it off, right? Sure. You have to figure out a way to get that. I'm a big energy guy, so I think you have to find a way to cleanse that energy, right?
Yeah.
And bring in new energy and, healing energy if that's what you need, right?
Sure.
Keeping busy.
Keeping busy, indeed. And think that this day and age, you have to always remember, we're not built to just sit in offices all day
No.
and go from box. As Tony Robbins says, we live in box lives, right? Like you leave your house at the box, you get on the bus box, you go to work, which you're in another box. You come home, you watch the box, right? Or you're on your box. So we live in a life of box, 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 box. We were designed to be outdoors and constantly using our bodies to survive.
Yeah.
But we needed to burn this exercise. We needed that fight or flight response. And now, not so much. Right? So it's important to just remember where we come from and, okay, what am I feeling? Well, my body's meant to be moving. So maybe I should start with that.
I know a lot of people that have dealt with anxiety and depression get a lot of relief from nature.
Nature's huge.
Nature's huge for that stuff, right?
And they also say that there's something to be said for going under sort of the canopies of trees. A lot of the undersides of leaves, actually, if you look at them, look a lot like the neurons in your brain.
Right.
So it's kind of like you're I don't know what it is, but a lot of people have connected the two of those, and there's something to it.
Do you think that it may be like a increase in oxygen? Like, I don't know how that would work, but I know that nature for me is key. Like, it's key.
I know that there is negative ions more so by water, right? So like if you're by a beach, that's what these little salt lamps are for. So they produce negative ions, and unfortunately, these guys, the electronics, even these iPads we're using, produce what are called positive ions. Positive ions are emitted by electronics, and they can make you feel shitty and depressed. Whereas like when you have an abundance of negative ions, when you're by a beach and you're by water or by a waterfall, you just naturally start to feel good, almost like a little bit of a high. It's because of the negative ions. So there is definitely something to be said for getting outside for me, it's by water. Always has been. Because watching a stream is magical to me.
You betcha.
And going for a walk in nature too, man. I mean, because that's usually by a stream of some sort for the most part. So
unless you're downtown London by that stream.
Oh, you still got some good. It might not be as full of as many negative ions. But it's still decent. So your attitude, the messages you give yourself, your expectations being out of line, learning how to control your anger and your mood swings, which we're still working on, learning how to be assertive. These things are all so important in helping you to control your anxiety and depression. If you need medication on top of these skills, don't beat yourself up for it. Do what's best for you. Just know that many people that go through this program that we're taking right now are able to cut down or get off their medication completely. If you're drinking to cope with anxiety or depression, that's something you really need to come to terms with. It's something you need to talk to someone about, whether that's your doctor, a loved one, a therapist, whatever. Talk to someone. Talk to us. Like, we can help guide you.
Reach out on the Facebook pages or personally if you have us, for sure.
There are so many resources available to help you. You have choices, and we are here to help.
I liked it. I liked this week for sure.
It's a good one because I think it's very relatable for us. I think that both of us have self-medicated time and time again. And it even makes me feel kind of gross to think about all the shit I put in my body back then. And it's nice to just be able to openly have this discussion and be on the other side of it. And I guess we all went through it for a reason. I mean, we're here talking about it. But at the end of the day, alcohol... Let me tell you this about alcohol. Anytime I've ever had a drink, it never made anything better in my life. Zero. Zero. Alcohol did not contribute to anything that ever amounted to anything monumental or really worthwhile in my life at all. Neither did any kind of drug. So that being said, it took me a long time to learn that. And I feel sorry for people that continually repeat this fucking bullshit cycle. But if that's any advice I can give to people, is that any kind of self-medicating I did might have been a temporary fix, but anything after that made my life more difficult.
I think, like, I didn't get in trouble every time I drank. But every time I was in trouble, I was drunk.
For sure.
You know? Like,
for sure.
That's just the way it went. I didn't get in shit every time. But every time I was in shit, I seemed to be hammered.
For sure. You know? Or high or whatever.
So I had to figure that out, that I don't want to be in trouble. I shouldn't drink. I didn't really put the correlation together for the first 7 years, but...
me too. But I was probably longer than that. But anyway.
I think that was a good week, man.
Yeah, man. Good job, buddy.
Thanks.
So I guess Scotty, we missed you, buddy, but hopefully you're okay.
Hopefully you're all right.
He was on his way. He had some kind of car issue.
So hopefully that's resolved, bud, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to the Sex and Suicide Podcast, Soulfire Sunday with myself, Paulie. Again, we will attach the link to Paulie's page at the bottom of this video. We'll attach the link to Scott's page. We'll attach their phone numbers.
Yeah.
We will attach the link to the program for the Midwest Center. And we'll turn around the iPad if anybody's with us and has any questions, okay?
Yeah.
So we'll see you next week, guys. Goodbye for now.